Okay, Jill, one of the most common issues when it comes to weatherizing are leaky doors. Now, thankfully, it's one of the easiest things to fix, too. And if you're wondering if your door needs weather stripping around it, an easy way to tell is to close the door. If you see light coming in, that means air could come in, too. Your weather stripping here is really sufficient, so we don't need to touch that. However, there are drafts down at the bottom. And so we're going to put on this sweep. It just cost a couple bucks at a hardware store. And you want to make sure that you read the instructions because every one is a little bit different. For this particular one, we're going to take off the adhesive, stick it on there, and then put screws in after we, of course, measure and cut. So let's do that first. Okay. We want to make sure that it's nice and clean down there so that the adhesive sticks. Great. Now I'll hold this up and I'll let you measure it or put the mark on it.
You got it where you want it?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and then we'll cut just to the right of that.
Okay.
Okay. Here are our scissors. There you go. Going to be sturdy for you. Okay. Now we'll peel off that adhesive on the end.
Here.
Why don't you just pull it off? Great. See, there's a little lip there. We want to make sure that that's right underneath. Okay. And all we have to do is just screw in the bottom. All right. Pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
Took all of what? 5 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, now I'm going to have you test that out a couple of times. Make sure that it works for you.
Looks like it's sealed well.
Opens and closes
fine.
okay? Great. Check that one off the list.
Thank you. We're all done with the back door.
Jill, that's great. I've already covered one of the windows down here in the basement with plastic, and it's really a pretty easy process. First thing we want to do is clean it off and make sure there's no debris. I've already done that.
Okay.
Then taking the double-sided tape, I've already measured that off and cut my plastic to fit the window. So let's go ahead and take the cover off the two-sided tape.
Okay.
I measured and cut the plastic, Jill, so we can go ahead and put this up. And then to seal it, we use a hairdryer. And that's pretty easy, Jill. Now, the only thing I think we have left, we want to insulate some of the gaps in the foundation. Should we take care of that?
Okay.
All right.
This is the area here that Alan and Rob pointed out that there's a lot of leakage.
Yeah, I can see that, Jill. And we're going to use this can of foam sealant. And the key is just making sure you expand it and then keep moving up here, because it will expand quickly and fills. And if there's anything that's left over, we can always come back and scrape off the excess, but it does expand very well and it fills that gap nicely here. All right, Jill, we'll let that harden up and then we can cut off that excess. All right, I think that does it down here. I know Megan's upstairs. You're going to head upstairs to the upstairs bedroom.
Okay, super. Pete sent me up here to see how you were doing.
Doing really well. Now, you know that this is one of the biggest things that was revealed in your audit is how much you were losing up here, how much energy. Rob actually said that it was the equivalent of a 12-foot square hole in the wall. A lot of air going in and out here.
I know, because it was so cold in the winter and so hot in the summer. Absolutely unbearable.
Well, it was a big enough thing that it isn't a basic improvement project. So Rob and his crew have taken over, and they're doing a couple of things. They removed your insulation, the bad insulation that was here, and put up a vapor barrier, put the insulation back in. As you can see here in these knee wall doors, they've opened those up, and there's spray insulation in there. And then they're also going to put weather stripping on some of the doors around here too.
That's going to make a huge difference with the air leaking through those doors.
It certainly will. And they're going to take care of the ductwork that's outside of the conditioned space too. And the fix that they've come up with there is they're going to apply this same foam insulation all around the ductwork. Now that's going to do two things. That's going to not only seal up any leaks that might be there, but it's also going to insulate the conditioned air, so it's going to be much more efficiently delivered to the rest of your house.
Well, those fixes were pretty easy.
They were. Let's talk about what we did. We caulked around the windows and the outlets as well.
We did the weather stripping to the back door to the patio.
Yep, we put the insulation downstairs in the basement, and we also put the film on the windows.
Now for some of the bigger jobs, we left those to the professionals. The vapor barrier, the insulation, and then the blown-in insulation, the foam insulation around the ducts to the professionals, but we did get those checked off your list.
Absolutely. So you tell us, was it pretty easy?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I'm glad I took the time to do it.
Thanks. It's been a great project for us, and if you don't mind, we'll leave now, but if we could come back in about a month, and then we can compare your bills, to what they were a year ago.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the results.
Alliant Energy.